Hey everybody, this is your girl Reagan Adams with All Things Reagan. Thank you so much for joining me. So I'm on a little bit of a low cell, sinus pressure. Yeah, I'm actually headed home to get back in the bed. But God dropped something in my spirit last week that I was supposed to talk to you guys about. And he got back on me today to pop back on here and talk to you about it. So I've had a couple of conversations over the past couple of weeks about things that have happened to us in our past life. And if you've listened to me for an extended period of time, I deal with a lot of trauma and, things that just happen in general in our lives. And I know that the things that have happened, with growing up and things of that nature, it does tend to have a direct reflection on how we act or how we treat people in our present day. And so as I was having a conversation with a friend of mine last week, I was like, I can think about a lot of different things that have happened to me that I'm like, man, that was pretty bad. But then also when I look at it, I was like, it was pretty good. And then as I listen to some people's stories, I'm just like, man, they went through a lot. Because here I am thinking, well, I've been through a whole lot. And then I hear somebody else's and I'm like, man, they overcame a lot of obstacles. And so for me, I love stories. And I believe that if you have gone through a whole lot of things, then the stronger the story, the stronger the person, the stronger the testimony and the people that you're able to help. That's how I look at it. And so I just want to encourage you today that whatever bad things that have happened to you, I don't know what it is, you can start from childhood. Because one thing that I know that Satan does is he starts with us very, 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 very young. And it causes us to have trauma when we get older. So I also, I'm trying not to really draw this out because it kind of compiles onto a lot of different areas. So I can even look at parents. So let's just say you had some really good parents, right? But they have their own problems and their own issues, So when they're raising you, there are some things for me in the church, I was raised in the church and I was raised a certain way in my household. But there are some things that I naturally need to unlearn that I was raised with. And I talk about this a lot because my mom and my dad did the best they could with teaching me the things that they knew. But sometimes those things that they knew don't necessarily work for my life as an adult or as me raising my own child. And so those things I had to weed out and sift through and say, hey, this works for me. This does not work for me. What works, or what is God actually speaking to me, especially when it comes to religion. So I don't believe in religion. I believe in relationships. So yes, I am a Christian. Yes, I am saved. But I believe more so in relationship. When you have a relationship with somebody, you can go and talk to them and they can tell you what exactly they mean. That is the same thing when it comes to God. And so our parents could have taught us everything that they know that was passed down. But how many of us know that we are human at the end of the day and we have error? And a lot of this stuff, hey Jasmine, a lot of this stuff is based in what they were taught with and how they feel and their emotions. So a lot of the time those things are passed down to us and how they would want it to be. Or if they're dealing with a manipulative spirit, or it can be a lot of different things. And so for me, I don't listen to a lot of people as it is. I'm going to be honest. If I take your advice or I call you or I ask you a certain question or whatever, let me move my car. If I ask you a certain question or, I take your advice, you have fruit. There's something that I see in you that I respect or I admire or I would like to take your advice. If you don't have any fruit, I don't listen to you. And here's another thing. I know unhappy marriages and unhappy relationships. I'm a seer. God shows me these things. So you can tell me all day that it looks great and everything is peachy, hunky dory. But guess what? I know different. And so I'm not going to ask you about your marriage. I'm not, if I know a single person, even though I am single, Some single people have great advice, but some have trash advice, and they have, you know, poor mental capacity. I'm not going to listen to them, right? So going back to what I was saying, the things that we were raised with, the people that we are around, we really have to be mindful. Hold on one second.
Cocoa Crepes, waffles, and coffee.
I was trying to get offline and go home. I guess that's not going to happen. But anyway, you know, we have to be very mindful of the people we listen to, the people we are around, but also learning to unlearn the things that we were taught, because some of those things are wrong. They are wrong. They are wrong. And when it comes to religion and relationship, they are wrong. How we parent our children, they are wrong. And you have to find what is right for your lifestyle, right? You want to always be respectful. I don't even know how I got here, but it all kind of ties in together. But you have to learn to unlearn some things for your life. There's some things that my mom, my mom has great wisdom, there's a lot of things that I pull from pertaining to my mom. Same for my dad. But there's a lot of things that I have to unlearn when it comes to how I was raised, what I saw. Not a lot, some. But I always seek God first. God, what do you mean when you said this in the Bible? You tell me exactly what you mean. Because sometimes people will give you a translation that's rooted in manipulation because they want you to do a certain thing. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Also, one thing that God talked to me about was molestation a while ago, and molestation in men and women. It is easier for women to talk about it, but it's harder for men, especially if it came from a man. But if you look at, you know, how the man acts or reacts, same thing with women, you can tell. You can absolutely tell. And so we want to ask what's wrong with relationships and why dating is dead. There's some things that happened when they were kids. But how many of you know I was molested? I was molested by 2 men and 2 women. That, as a kid, seemed to be the norm. I saw a lot of sexual stuff when I was a kid. A lot of people have, which has caused it has caused trauma to a lot of people. A lot of people still can't get over the trauma that they saw as a kid. I was introduced to porn very, very early as a kid. But how many of you know, like, if you've ever been molested, and I've talked about this before, you've had this feeling of, oh my gosh, like if you're 10 or whatever the age is, and you had, like, orgasms feel great as an adult. What does that feel like with a kid that you can't even process this stuff? Like, that's a lot to process, right? And even if it's wrong, when all you know is, I just want to feel this way again. That's all you know. But that can stick with you as an adult. And especially if it's the opposite sex. So it's like, am I gay? Like, is this something that I want? You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of stuff. Even though that is a trauma thing, that is something bad that has happened to you, because we are born into sin, because Satan is the god of this world. Naturally, things are going to happen bad to you in this world, but it's like a double-edged sword. So, like, yes, I was molested, and I was. But what I do is I make sure that I talk to other molested people to say, you know what, yes, this happened, but we can talk about it and we can overcome it, because it's nothing to be ashamed of, because it happened to us. It happened. It happened. And you know, Satan, the Lord rebuke you. You know, I'm not going to wear that as a badge of not like shame. I'm going to go and talk to people about it to say, you know what, you can heal from this thing, because it's affecting your life. Because it affected mine. I told you I saw my molester right before I came to Texas, but I needed to see him. One of them. I needed to see him. I needed to. Because I thought I was free from some things, and I wasn't. I was still holding on to some things. So use your double-edged sword. Use those things that have happened to you that are bad to help you, to help other people, right? Yes, it hurt. Yes, your feelings were hurt. Yes, they left. Yes, they cheated. All of this stuff. Yes, they were mean. But there's a scripture that says it was good that I was afflicted, so that I may know your way. Listen to me. It was good that they left you. It was good you got cheated on. It was, because all of that stuff it's sent there to make you stronger. Like, Satan meant it for your good, your bad. Satan meant for these things for your life to happen bad to you. but they're good because the word says all things work together for your good. I'm sorry, I'm not feeling well. I'm healed, but yeah, I'm trying to get over this stuff. But anyway, here's the thing. Take everything bad that has happened to you and help somebody else. Take everything bad and stand on that and make Satan pay you back your money for it. There is my businesses are built on everything that bad that has happened, is happening, or has happened, or will happen to me ever. I would not have Dating Is Dead if I wasn't married and I saw how the relationship between my mother and my father. I would not have it. I would not have Build a Man had I not written a list about my ex-husband. I would not have Put Me First if I didn't know what it was to be in the house and not have a life. I would not have businesses if none of these things had happened to me. I would not have it. And so why would you just sit on your pain? Why would you let Satan do that to you? Why would you do it to yourself? Stop sitting on the bad things that have happened for you and learn how to use it as a platform to go get your money and get healing and help other people. That's exactly what I do day to day. So it was good that you were afflicted. It was good that you got molested. I know that sounds crazy. But just think of how many other people that have been molested that don't talk about it, and it is hurting them daily. Think about the people who have lost people in their lives that were very important to them and they have stopped living. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We are pushing through. We are using what was thrown to hurt us to help us intentionally. So I gotta go. That was just on my heart, and I know God was really pressing on me to come and talk about it, because a lot of us are sitting in stuff, especially women. I'm having a women's event this next weekend, and I've been praying about it, because I'm a lot of women aren't used to getting together because we have mean girls. We have mean girls who are not accepting, who judge, who backbite, and women come in and say, well, you know what, I don't fool with women because they don't know how to be. But here's the thing, we have to know who we are before we go attach to anybody else. And with my events, I'm telling you, I never have any drama. I never have it. I've had one time, and when they came, they could not stay. They left after the first day because I don't attract drama. I don't like drama. If you are insecure in yourself, it's going to be really hard for you to deal with me. It is. It's going to be hard for you to come around my friends because we like real, raw, and relevant stuff and conversation and really dealing with things head on. If you are not able to do that, you cannot be around. You can't. You can't be afraid of what somebody is going to say about you. I've gotten into the space where if you talk about me, God bless you. Because let me tell you, I had a dream last night, and I don't ever call names because God shows me who these people are. And that's why I put what I put on my page this morning. Pray for those who talk about you. Pray for those who don't like you. Pray for them. Pray for them. Because they don't know what they do. It's not even you that they don't like. It's something within them. You ain't got nothing to do about it. You just happen to be out here living and moving and doing. Because if you really know me, nobody should ever be jealous of me. Nobody. Because I still have problems like everybody else. You don't want my problems, and I don't want yours. I don't. But, it's just a lot of healing that needs to take place, and take place on purpose, and have accountability. I had a conversation with God where I had to get healing about jealousy. When God was showing me that he was going to give me a women's event, that I was going to be dealing with a lot of women, he said, you got to get healed up, because I can't help you in an area that you're going to be jealous of these women who you are helping. Because once they rise above you, or I might be sending you somebody that got millions of dollars and you jealous of them, but they really are broken hearted, or they're broken mentally. And I might be sending you these people and you jealous of them because of what they perceive to have had or have. But I sent you to them. I sent them to you, excuse me. So you got to get that thing healed up. So I had to be honest and have accountability and say, you know what, I'm a jealous person and I need to get this healed. Lord, heal me. And it took a couple of years, but now I'm not jealous of anybody. Listen to me. You can have $1 billion in the bank. You can be the prettiest thing. You can be traveling. You can have all the money. You can have all the everything. And I'm not jealous. Because essentially, I'm happy with the life that I have right now. I really am. This is the happiest I've ever been. And I don't have everything that I want. I don't. But I have everything I need. And I'm in a place where I can thrive. I'm in a place where I'm happy. I see different cultures. I see, like, black folks here thrive. Like, people are nice. I love my church. Like, I'm in a great place. And I want other people to be in a great place too. But you have got to look at your circumstance and say, this is what I like. This is what I don't like. And you have to be honest and fix it. Because we can't continue to dwell on, oh, this happened to me, so, oh, I'm going to sulk in my pain. Oh, I lost this person, so I got to stop living. That is a lie from the pits of hell. We're not doing that. We are going to take everything that the devil tried to throw at us, or even if it did happen, and these bad things did happen to you, guess what? We're going to deal with them, and we're going to get on a platform and help others so they can become free and they can heal, right? That is what we are in the earth to do, to help, right? And I know some people with like great ministries on the inside of them, and I don't even necessarily mean in church, but just have great, where people are watching them. Listen, be honest and truthful about what's going on in your circumstance. I'm not saying, go out here and tell it to the world, because some people can't be trusted. I got it. But for me, if I tell you something, I don't care whether you go back and tell it or not, because guess what? I'm going to go and put it in a book for $14.99 on Amazon, and you're going to read about it. It's not too much anybody can tell you about me unless they made it up, because I don't mind telling you. Like, I don't, because guess what? What I do know is when the Lord starts elevating me, you got people who already start trying to, Reagan, did you see? Did you hear? If you heard something about me, believe it, whatever it is. Because I don't have time to tongue wrestle with you and push and pull and be like, oh, well, I didn't say that. And I'm not clearing up nothing. I did it. Whatever it is, I did it. Go read about it. Go pay me for it. Satan, you're going to pay me for everything you tried. Go read about it. Go read about it. I don't have nothing, because when we all figure out that we have problems and issues, guess what? We could live a much freer life. We worry about what people think too much. I'm not doing it. I'm not expending my time worrying about what y'all think about me, because guess what? I'm too busy out here living. And that's the testimony that I want to have. I want to live a full life, but I want everybody attached to me to live a full life too. And you can only do that with being honest with yourself. You can only do that with fixing yourself and acknowledging what happened, because it happened. It happened. If you had low self-esteem and you slept with this dude and you had no business, I had low self-esteem. I shouldn't have been sleeping with him. Guess what? I got that story a few times. Let's be clear. But we learn from it and make better choices. That's what we do. We learn from our mistakes and we make better choices. That's what we're supposed to do, right? So I'm excited about life. I want you guys to get excited about it too. Whatever you got going on, listen, it's going to get better, but only if you make it get better. Like, you don't have time to sulk. Like today, listen to me. I do not, y'all. I literally had to walk my floor and pray this morning because I was not feeling good, but I knew it was an attack from the enemy. Yes, we got sinuses and things of that nature going on, but it would be nothing more for me to still be in the bed and not come and talk to you, because somebody on here needs to hear what I'm saying. You have to keep going on. Yeah, sometimes rest. I'm not saying don't rest, but what I'm telling you is don't let the enemy get you down so far that you can't get out of bed. If you feel depression coming on, if you feel fear coming on, if you feel, man, I just want to give up, man, get up and rebuke that thing and speak to it. You have the authority in God to do so. Now, if you don't worship God, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I would hope that that's what the word says, I would hope that they be saved. I don't know the specific scripture, but everybody's not going to be. But I wouldn't dare want to live my life here without God. Jesus is his son. I wouldn't want it. I wouldn't want it, because guess what happened when I got up and started praying this morning? I immediately started feeling better. I'm not going to let listen to me. I'm not, and you should not let the enemy take you out. You have the authority to tell him, move around. Move around. You don't have any authority over my life. move around. Satan, the Lord rebuke you. If you don't have the words and you don't know the scripture, devil, leave me alone and get out of here. You and your imps. You can say that because you have the authority. You have the authority to do so. So anyway, I'm going to pop off here because I can't be driving and carrying on and talking to y'all because I don't have my thing. My friend bought me one and I tried to put it up and it broke, Lord. But I'm going to have to get one so I can talk to y'all while I'm driving. But anyway, you guys have a blessed day. This is your girl, Reagan Adams, with All Things Reagan. And Reagan says, I think it, I see it, I do it, and you should too. Bye.